Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we would do something a little bit different. So I'm sure you have seen the 24-hour readathons here on YouTube. I've decided that I want to do a 12-hour readathon. So we're going to see how many pages I can read in 12 hours. I have got my phone here, so I will set a timer on this and then I can basically, I'm gonna stop the clock whenever I am not reading, but I'm hoping to get the majority of this time done today, maybe even in one day, but we shall see. It probably will be sped over two. And the book that I'm starting with is Everblades, which is the third book in the Keeper of the Lost City series by Shannon Messenger. I'm loving this series, and honestly I've been feeling a bit slumpy recently, so I thought why not pick up one of these books and get back into this series because I love it so much. If you don't know, we're following Sophie Foster. She is a telepath and she has known this since she was like 5 but has kept it a secret. And she currently lives in the human world. However, someone comes to get her and it turns out she is an elf. Everyone in the elf realm has like powers and she goes there. She is like this chosen one and has to embark on this huge journey. So it's really interesting, and yeah, I'm so excited to read the third book because we left the second book on such a good ending. I'm just gonna sit with my cup of tea, got a bagel also. So I shall be eating this and then I will start reading. So we've just reached our first hour of this 12-hour readathon and I have gotten to page 120 of Exile, and I love this world. I've already said so many times I love Shannon Messenger's writing. It's so easy to read and understand, but it doesn't feel too kiddish or young, and it just provides so much entertainment. There is always something going on. And the start of this book as well, we see a lot of Keith, which I'm really happy about. He's a character that is probably becoming my favourite out of the series. I originally loved Fitz, but I feel like he's not really in it as much at the moment, so maybe he'll have a bigger role later on. But yeah, Keith is providing all of the humour. He's really funny, and the banter between him and Sophie is really enjoyable as well. I can't believe that's the first hour gone already, and to read over 100 pages means that I'm enjoying it, I'm flying through it. And I also think with YA, sometimes you just do read it a little bit quicker because it's especially because it's the third book. Now I understand the world and the characters, so I don't have to take any new things in really. So yeah, I've got a lot of time today, so I'm gonna carry on reading, probably get dressed at some point, and then I'll keep you updated. Okay, let me just have a look how long we have left on the timer. So I actually took a break and I've been doing some uni work. So I have 8 hours and 15 minutes left. I am now on page 370. So we have made a lot of progress in this quite hefty book, if I'm being honest. But once again, my feelings haven't changed. I'm gonna take this down because, if I look a bit weird also, I put some fake tan on earlier, so I'm just letting that develop because your girl is tired of being pale and I feel like nothing is a confidence boost like putting a tan on. So I have some time now. Again, I'm gonna sit, read. I may next speak to you once I have finished this, and I think we'll be about halfway through the challenge then. But overall, I just love this universe, and I'll keep saying it. If you haven't read it, pick it up and read it. It's scary. It's like 8 books long now and there is a new one coming out soon, but it's so easy. And I feel like this is a book that I would recommend to anyone that's in a reading slump because you just can't get bored, and it's just, you don't have to think. It's like putting on that comfort TV show. Like, that is the kind of vibe that it's giving me. now finished Exile, no not Exile, Everblaze, the third book in the Keeper of the Lost City series obviously, and we have now got to, so we have 5 hours 50 left on the timer, meaning that took me 6 hours and 10 minutes to get through, which is pretty accurate. It's like 610 pages. So that means I am reading about 600 pages per hour. Pretty happy with that. Thoughts on the book, I loved it. This one, it kind of creeped me out a little bit. There was a few scary moments where I wasn't sure who was bad, who was good, and oh my word, the plot twist at the end of it you will not believe. I can't stress it enough. You've got to read it. I think the plans are now, I think when they go for a little walk, because the sun is finally out in the UK. I've just filmed a YouTube video, so if you haven't seen it, I just filmed my March TBR, and this will be going up after that, so I expect you to click on that video after you finish watching this one. But I've chosen my next book already. This is Wings of Starlight by Alison Saft, and I don't know if you have seen the Tinkerbell movies before, but I grew up watching them and I adore them, and this follows a couple from there. So Clarion, who is like the queen of the Pixie Hollow, she has a love interest who lives in the Winter Realm. And we actually see a glimpse of it in the movies. I watched it yesterday to refresh my memory, and they basically, their backstory is that they can't be together because she is like a spring, summer fairy and he is a winter one, so their wings aren't designed to survive each other's climate. But yeah, I'm kind of going into this blind, to be honest, because I just want to be surprised, and I'm really intrigued to see if it's going to read quite young. I'm assuming it's going to be YA, but is it going to be able to bridge that gap between YA and like new adult in a way? So I'm going to go for a walk and then head back and read this. Obviously 5 hours 50 left, so definitely be able to get this done within that time, fingers crossed. Currently being blinded by the sun, but I'm going to stand here because it's making me feel happy. I am going to be honest with you guys, I'm filming now probably a week after that last clip, and I have not read since then. I did read for another 2 hours, so that means that I am on page 219 of Wings of Starlight. I don't think the book can be to blame. I feel like myself, I was in a reading slump. I went home, was busy, and then I just kind of got out of routine, but now I can feel it. I want to pick up books again, so that's really exciting. So I think I'm just going to complete this challenge now, even though it's not like a 12 hours straight kind of thing. So I do have just under the 2 hour mark remaining, so hopefully we can finish this, and then I've actually got a little novella lined up if I do get this one done. So that one is The Full Risks by Abby Jimenez. It's on my TBR for March as well. It'll be good to get through that if I can. But let's finish this. I will say I'm really enjoying the premise of the book. I'm gonna have to move this way because I cannot see. So I'm really enjoying the premise of the book. We are following Queen or Princess Clarion. She's soon to become Queen of Pixie Hollow. She is definitely a big part of the movies, if you have seen them, the Tinkerbell movies, and I've always loved her. And we are following this story where these things called nightmares, they're these monsters that gain power from human nightmares. So they have been trapped within the winter kind of side of Pixie Hollow for a long time. They're safe, however they suddenly start breaking out. And Clarion is under this impression that winter fairies are very hard, like cold people that are hard to get along with. So she kind of like writes them off, and there's a plan to kind of get rid of them completely. However, she then meets Mallory, who is the Lord of the Winter Woods. So it's actually his job to protect the Pixie Hollow fairy realm from these nightmare creatures, and they suddenly start getting out. So they kind of have to team up together, and it's just really cute so far. Alison Saft is doing a perfect job of describing what the scenery looks like as well. I feel like I'm physically in Pixie Hollow when I'm reading it. I wouldn't say it's blowing me away, but I am definitely enjoying it. I feel like that's just what you want from something like this. It's never going to be like life-changing, but it's filling a hole that those Tinkerbell movies did leave in my life. And yeah, let's finish this and see how it ends, because I'm really intrigued and I don't want anyone to die or get hurt, so we'll see. officially finished Wings of Starlight. Finally, I finished my first book of March. I hate reading slumps so much. If you have been in one, you understand, but we now have 55 minutes left on our timer. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to be going into the full risk, but let's just debrief on my thoughts of Wings of Starlight. Again, nothing has really changed. I really did like the book. However, the ending it felt a bit short for me, to be honest. I wanted something a bit bigger, but it almost seemed like too easy to defeat these creatures. And maybe that's the kind of kid Disney side coming through. Obviously we want a happy ending and things like that. But it was so nice to read about Mallory and Clarion's story. I had always been obsessed with it from the movies, so to see it on written paper, that was really, really nice, and I definitely will be looking out for more of Alison Saff's writing in the future, just because she wrote it really well, and it didn't stray too far from how the original Tinkerbell movies felt. So that's why it's like a really nice feeling to step into that world and kind of see where we're at and familiar characters again. Obviously this is like before the Tinkerbell era, so Clarion is kind of like the only one that we know, but she has a best friend called Petra who is also like a Tinker Fairy, and she was really enjoyable as well. Really recommend picking it up. I had a wonderful time. I think I'm going to settle on a 4-star just because I enjoyed it and just didn't blow me away in any sense, like as I mentioned, not life-changing. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be going on to the full risk. I don't know much about it. I don't even know anything about it. It's a novella, so it's literally like 84 pages, which is why I think it's perfect to complete my last hour with this book. Just to round it off, we could end it here, but let's just get another one in and get that Goodreads goal up, because the last 2 weeks it's definitely been affected quite a bit. I may even like walk and read at the same time. It's really sunny out, so I might do that if I'm being honest, or find a little bench somewhere where I can sit and read, or I may just do it here on the sofa. That sounds more likely if I'm being honest. There we have it, 12 hours, and I managed to also complete the full risk by Abby Jimenez in that hour as well. I think my thoughts on that one, I didn't really like it. It's a very odd story. We're following our 2 main characters and they live on like a 2nd floor building. They've never really seen each other before, so they're neighbours, and some reason someone comes to remove their stairs, so they're unable to get down and out their apartment floor. So they basically stuck together for a weekend. And I liked that aspect of it. I've always liked close proximity, and our male main character, he seemed quite sweet as well. But there was also a side plot where our female main character has basically been being stalked for the past few years. She's had to move out and about, and it just felt so odd. I feel like maybe if the story, I was like, is this giving thriller? Because the stalker bit was a bit creepy, if I'm being honest. And it was just so random. I don't know how it added to the romance at all, but it was fun. And I can kind of grasp a little bit of Abby Jimenez's writing, and hopefully her longer books I will enjoy, because I really do want to get into hers, like just for the summer. I think her most recent release. So definitely putting her on my to be read author list, and we will see. But I think as ratings go for that one, it's probably like a 2-star, but as a novella, I can't really rate it much higher than that. Maybe if it was 500 pages, I'll get to know the characters, care about them a bit more. But in 84 pages, I thought the whole stalker thing and the romance alongside of it was just a bit too much, if I'm being honest. But there we have it. Obviously that's the 12 hours completed, so we managed to read the Everblaze book of the Keeper of the Lost City series. Then we had Wings of Starlight and The Full Risk. So I feel like that's quite good to get through in 12 hours. Obviously hasn't been 12 hours continuously. Apologies for that, but I'm just going to keep it real. I would never want to sit here and lie to you and say that I've done this all in 12 hours, because that's not realistic, and I want to be a realistic bestie for you lot. So don't forget to give this video a like and leave in the comment section if you've read any of these books, or if you would like to see me do this 12-hour readathon challenge again. Don't forget to subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one.